Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Israel of Faith. My name is Brother William L. Dixon, and I'd like to thank you for coming out this morning. We are going to finish up the book of Hebrews with chapter, of course, 13. This is the final chapter for the book of Hebrews. And this one is going to start at Hebrews at chapter 13, verse 1. So we're going to get right into it. Hebrews chapter 13 and at verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. Of course, that's self-explanatory. Be hospitality and humble to all, because you never know. There may be an angel that you may be talking to and don't even know it. Okay? Remember them that are in bonds, as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body. So all are, of course, in the body of Messiah. All are of the church, as they say, which is, of course, the body of Messiah. So we must look out for those who are in bonds, those who are in the hospitals, those who may be in prison, those who may be in the military, having to fight wars and whatnot. We have to look out for each other. Is definitely what it's saying. Okay. Verse 4, Hebrews 13 and 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers Yah will judge. Okay, so, the marriage, of course, is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. So that a man and a woman that's married, what they do in their bedroom is not to their it's not to their judgment. It's not to their punishment. Okay? Because there's no defilement when a man and a woman is together and they're married. But, of course, it says whoremongers and adulterers Yah will judge. All right. Verse 5, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such as you have. For he hath said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Don't go after that which your neighbor has, or want what your neighbor has. His wife, his material wealth, that which he has is, and seeking or wanting to seek that which, of course, is not yours. Basically, is what it boils down to. Okay, because as it says here in verse 5, it says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such as you have. For he hath said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Okay? This is what Messiah said, I'm sure. Okay, verse 6. So that we may boldly say, Yah is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. So that we also know that Yah is with us. Those of us who believe by way of faith, we must always believe that Yah is there with us and always there for us. Okay? Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Yah, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. So those who speak the word truthfully, brothers and sisters, not deceptively, of course, we, definitely want to listen and abide by the word that they give, because they're giving the word in truth, and they're giving the word by faith. Okay? Alright, verse 7 again. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Yah. Okay? Whose faith follow. Consider the end of their conversation. Okay? Verse 8. Messiah, the same yesterday, and today, and forever. Of course, he does not change. Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines. Don't get caught up in all of these foolish doctrines that these people bring out in order to get you to come into their church and for the sole purpose of getting your money. Basically what it boils down to, giving you a conversation and some entertainment. Okay. Verse 8 again, Messiah, the same yesterday and today and forever. Of course, he does not change. Verse 9, be not carried away with divers and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace. See, that also says that Yahweh sent Messiah to bring grace when he came into the world, so that grace can be for us, so that we as those who are believers can receive that grace. Okay, so to read it again, be not carried away with divers and strange doctrines. Those who bring about those strange doctrines, don't follow them. For it is good that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. So it's speaking to the word of Yahweh and not that which is to the flesh. So that we understand that the word of Yahweh is what we must seek. That is to our blessing. That is to our grace. That is to the mercy. So that we understand that that which of course goes to the flesh, it only goes in the flesh through the stomach and comes out into the drought. Meaning you go to the bathroom. So, it profits a man nothing, to eat meats. It's temporary, that which we eat, because we eat every day, sometimes 3 times a day. Why? Because what we eat does not last. But that which is of the word of Yahweh, of course, which is by the way of the Spirit, which is not seen, as we have learned in Hebrews chapter 11, that is of the faith. We want to make sure that we understand that this is what we must see. Okay? Yes, we must feed ourselves. Yes, Yahweh is not without blessing us to be fed. But we must also understand that by faith, we must adhere to the word that is given to us and be able to know that in our hearts, we are that word. And Yahweh's word is in us, and we are in that, of course, Yahweh's word and Yahweh's will, by way of Messiah. That's what faith is all about. Okay? When you accept Messiah, you are accepting Yahweh's word and Yahweh's will. You are returning back to Yahweh's word and Yahweh's will. So we have to be able to be persistently confident in keeping that word and not letting the word go. That's very, very important. And don't be caught up in the strange doctrines, brothers and sisters, that which, these pastors are giving you that really, you find yourself being blank-faced. I notice on a lot of programs I see where they have people on YouTube there and they show the audience look blank, because they're not attentive, because they're not hearing any word that, can teach them. They're just basically getting mostly conversations. Person come in and they're have that blank look on their face. They're not learning anything from the one that's supposedly teaching. And then those who jump up and down and they shout and make a lot of noise, they're the ones who have no understanding of the word. Why do I say this? Because the truth be told, when you shout to the truth. When you shout glory and give praise to Yah, shout to the glory and have a reason for to give praise to Yah. Don't just shout because the pastor said that you're gonna get money, or that you're gonna get a house built, or that your life is going to be better. He hasn't taught you anything. I mean, it may sound funny, but actually he hasn't. When you learn the word as it is given by Yah to the prophets, to the angels, to Moses, and understand that word, that it is relevant to your redemption and to your salvation, this is when you're learning something. This is when you're eating spiritual bread. That which is of the flesh, of course, is always of the flesh. But that which is of the word of Yah comes from Yah. And remember, Isaiah 55 and verse 11 also speaks very plainly. Yah speaking, the word that comes from my mouth does not return unto me void. All right? But accomplish that which I please and prosper where I send it. So that word, of course, as we have learned throughout the book of Hebrews, of course, it comes by way of Yah, and that word is Messiah, Son of Yah, Word of Yah, manifested in the flesh. Okay? So that we understand, of course, that, we want to learn some truth, not just a conversation and what's on the program for the day, Come on, man. Okay. Verse 10. We have an altar whereby they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. Okay? We have an altar. It is good to not be established with great, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied. Okay, verse 10. For we have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. For the bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burned without camp. See, this is very much speaking to the fact that that altar is speaking to Messiah. We have an altar. Listen, we have an altar, verse 10, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 10. We have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. See, and the altar that we have, of course, is to Messiah, that tabernacle. That is our tabernacle. We don't have no right to eat. See, for the bodies of those beasts, okay, whose blood is brought into the sanctuary, it's talking about animal sacrifices and, of course, the Levitical priesthood, by the high priest for sin. Okay, that's what they did for sin. Are burned without camp, meaning that it was outside of the city. Wherefore, Messiah also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, okay, which is what he did, suffered without camp, and meaning there was no one with him when he went and sacrificed himself. There was no one there with him, meaning that, of course, was behind him, was there with him and be there for him. He was there on his own and, of course, by himself. So when it says without gate, it means without the people, outside of the city. All right. Okay, verse 12 again. Wherefore, Messiah also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. No, there was no one there. Okay. Let us go forth, therefore, unto Messiah without the gate, or without camp, bearing his reproach. For here we have no continuing city. See, it's a city, but we seek one to come. So we're not worried about what's on earth. We're more concerned with what is to come. We're looking forward, looking ahead into that which is of Yah's word and Yah's will by faith, that the New Jerusalem, of course, would be built. This is what it all comes to. Because when the high priest of the Levitical priesthood would bring in the offerings of the sacrifices for man's sin, it was done without camp. Okay? Meaning they were outside of the city. So was Messiah. When he was crucified outside of the city. And of course, he shed his blood for us. He did that on his own. Okay? All right? Now, verse 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Yah continually. By him who? By Messiah. Okay? Let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Yahweh continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to Yahweh. Okay? But giving thanks to Yahweh and to do good, and to communicate. Okay? Do not forget. Okay? For which such sacrifices Yahweh is well pleased. See? The sacrifices that we give is the praise and glory that we give unto Yah. See? By Messiah, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise. Give that praise to Yah continually. See? Thank you, Yah. Look up to paradise and say, thank you, Yah. Praise be unto you, and to Messiah. Okay? And that's just the reason it must be done continually. Okay? This is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to Yahweh. Okay? And to do good and to communicate. And do not forget that this is what we should do. Okay? For which such sacrifices Yahweh is well pleased. So Yahweh is not looking for no more animal sacrifices. He's looking for the praise of our lips, the words that come from our mouth, that goes unto him. That praise, it goes unto him by faith. That glory that we give unto him, we give by faith, in that we believe what we say because we know the truth. All right. Verse 17. And of course, as the word says, Yahweh is well pleased when he hears that praise and that glory. Just as he was well pleased when Messiah did the works that Yahweh gave him. See? Okay. It says, verse 17, obey them that have the rule over you. Okay? And submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. See, that's what these pastors have to understand. When you start teaching people, and you have to account to Yah for those souls that you have under you, because you are as a pastor or a leader in a leadership role. You can't just go out and just throw words at people and say, okay, leave your offering and we got some music for you and have a nice day. Oh, and by the way, there is no son of Yah. No, you're responsible for what you do, and you will be responsible come time for judgment unto Yah. You will be. See, because those of us who are of the word of Yah are going to rise to the resurrection. Those of us who are not of the word of Yah, of course, are going to rise to judgment by way of condemnation. Because man, of course, who do not believe in the word of Yah condemns himself. That's what he does. All right. Verse 18. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 18. Pray for us, for we trust we have good conscience in all, willing to live honestly. But I beseech you the rather to do this, that I may be restored to you the sooner. Now the Yah of peace that brought again, verse 20. Now the Yah of peace that brought again from the dead our Messiah. See, this book tells you that Messiah was raised from the dead. For those who keep saying he wasn't raised from the dead, he didn't resurrect. It is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 20. Now Yah of peace that brought again, that brought again him from the dead, our Messiah. That brought him from the dead again, our Messiah. That's what it's saying. That great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of the everlasting covenant, the shedding of his blood. Okay? make you perfect in every good work to do his will. Okay? Working in you that which is well-pleasing in his sight through Messiah, to whom be glory forever and ever. Yah's word and Yah's will be so. See? We must do that which is and every good work. Make us perfect in every good work to do his will. Who will? Yah's will. Okay? I'm going to read verse 20 again. Now the Yah of peace that brought him again from the dead, okay, our Messiah, that great shepherd, okay, of the sheep, through the blood of the everlasting covenant. So this is Messiah who sacrificed himself, okay, and was raised again. Yah brought him from the dead, giving him the power of resurrection. See, this was put in Messiah. He has the power of resurrection in him. Okay, this is what Yah gave him. And of course, he's called that great shepherd of the sheep. All right, through the blood of the everlasting covenant. That everlasting covenant is that covenant of faith that returns us back unto redemption, salvation, unto Yah. Okay, make you perfect in every good work to do his will. So that what we do by way of faith, those works that we do, so that we may be justified by faith. Remember, Yah said, by way of your lips do we make glory and give glory unto him. It's not about sacrifices. It's not about the works that we do. Yes, we must do works, but when I say it's not about the works, what I mean is we are justified by faith and not by works. Okay? We are justified by faith. Because all then at this point is by way of the word of Yah, by way of the power of Yah. So that's very, very important. Yes, we must do works, but our works is our works based on the fact that, of course, we do our works by faith. As in Abraham, when he took his Isaac and he was going to offer Isaac in sacrifice, as Yah commanded, he did what he did by faith. The works that he did by faith. Remember, all comes from the faith, the word of Yah. See, when Abraham moved to go and do that which Yah had commanded him to do concerning Isaac, he heard the word of Yah and he moved by way of faith, in that he believed that Yah is true, and that of course Yah would resurrect him again. So he went about the task to go and sacrifice Isaac. And as he was about to sacrifice him, the angel stopped him and then told him that the offering of a ram was in the trees, tied to a tree. And this showed that Abraham was willing to do Yah's word and Yah's will by faith. His faith was just as strong. See, it's not the works that made him that gave Yah the glory. No, it is Abraham's faith that gave Yah the glory. Yes, he did the works, but he's justified by his faith. Why? Because it is to the word of Yah. It is to the word of Yah. And to the fulfillment, in his case, to the word of Yah. Because remember, he fulfilled Yah's word to him. So much so that Yah sent an angel there to stop him. For Yah knew that he was willing to give his only begotten son. Okay. Verse 21, make you perfect in every good work to do his will. Okay? That's what that faith does. Make us perfect in every good work that we do, to do Yah's will. See, you doing Yah's will by way of obeying Yah's word, as Messiah did. Messiah is the example, brothers and sisters, that we must go by. He came not doing what he wanted to do, not thinking, and okay, I got the word of y'all, but I'm going to do what I want to do. Nah. I do that which is of my Father. This is what y'all Messiah speaks. Okay? I do that which I hear of my Father, and which I see of my Father. I am in my Father. He is in me. Messiah never exalted himself, meaning making himself higher, as some of these pastors do. They want to have the authority, to be over those who are by right are no more than they are. Messiah called us brethren, even though Yah made him Yah. See, he called us brethren. Why? Because he humbles himself. He knows who he is in Yah's realm. He knows who he is in Yah's word and Yah's will. But Messiah humbles himself. He humbles himself to the people so much so that he loved the people in order that he sacrificed himself for the people, his brethren. So, this is all about faith, brothers and sisters, and understanding that it's not about the works that you do. It's about being justified by the belief that you have, okay, that allows you to be able to do the works that you do. See, it is only Messiah's works that is justified to Yahweh. Why? Because Messiah works, him having no sin in him, listen, him having no sin in him, Messiah, his works, are the same as Yahweh's works. Why? And when I say works, I mean works as in the works that Yah did when he created the earth. See? And then Yah rested. So much so that Hebrews 4 and 10 says very plainly, the works that, and I'm going to turn there real quick. Keep your hands on 13. I'm going to turn there real quick, so I'm going to read it again and read it right. Okay? Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4. Alright? Hebrews chapter 4. And starting at verse 7. Okay? And this is speaking into reference to the rest. Okay? Verse 7. Again, start at verse 6. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 6. Seeing therefore it remained that some must enter therein, talking about the rest, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief, talking about those during the time of Moses who had that rest given to them and they refused it by way of unbelief. Verse 7. Again he limit a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Okay, that's talking about listening by way of faith in Messiah. Okay, and that which David spoke, of course, is to prophecy. So that when that rest was given, it was given to Messiah. So that he may enter into Yah's rest, of course. All right. And we, of course, can enter into that rest by our faith in Yah's faith in Messiah. So, read it again. Verse 7. Again, he limit a certain day. This is Yah, what Yah did. Saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, okay, today, if you will hear his voice, whose voice? Messiah's voice. Harden not your hearts. Do not harden your hearts and let that wickedness come into you. For if Messiah had not given them rest, then would he afterward have spoken of another day. So that rest, it is letting you know with a guarantee what's given to Messiah. For if that rest had not been given to Messiah, okay, then would Yah have spoken of another day, okay? Now, listen. Okay. Verse 9. There remain, therefore, a rest to the people of Yah. See? that rest that we have to be able to enter into Yah's rest. Okay, now listen. Verse 10. For he, Messiah, is entered into his rest. Okay, for he that is entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works, as Yah did from his. All right, I'm gonna read it again. For he that is entered into his rest, that's Messiah. Okay, he also ceased from his own works, as Yah did from his. Now, who else can go and cease from their works the same as Yah did from his? It's only Messiah. So that Messiah ceased from his own works, as Yah did from his works. And how is that so? It's very much so because the works of Yah are the same as the works of Messiah. How is that so? Because the works of Yah is in Messiah by way of the word of Yah. So this is where the truth comes in. Yah entered into the rest of, Messiah entered into the rest of Yah, okay, after he was crucified and was resurrected. He entered into Yah's rest by his works. So that we understand that Messiah's works are the same as Yah's works. Because this is all Messiah, Yah's word and Yah's will in Messiah. This is all Yah's word and Yah's will in Messiah. And that's very, very, very important. Okay, because that rest was given. And when I say that rest, they call it the Sabbath day. And Messiah told the Pharisees, he said, I'm Yah of the Sabbath. Or as the Bible said, Lord of the Sabbath. It means Yah. I'm Yah of the Sabbath. Yah made him Yah of the Sabbath. In other words, not in other words, but that rest. See? They said a day of rest, but now, literally, you enter into Yah's rest. Not a day. It has nothing to do with a day. It is the rest that Messiah entered into, the same rest that Yah entered into and made for him when he was crucified. He entered into Yah's rest. And he did it by way of the flesh. See? Why? Because his works are the same as the works of Yah. Why? Because the works of Yah is the works of Messiah, and the word of Yah comes from Yah and is in Messiah. So there is no difference. There is no separation in the word. So that by way of Messiah, we all can enter into that rest who believe in Messiah and the word of Yah given in Messiah by way of faith. See, people have to understand, Abraham established the faith when he did Yah's word and Yah's will. It wasn't so much the works, brothers and sisters. It is the faith that makes him justified. Remember, his faith is counted unto righteousness. You don't read where it says his works were. Now, the Bible does say that Yah remembers our works. But we are justified by faith. Why? Because Yah's word and Yah's will, remember, Isaiah 55 and verse 11. Yah speaking, the word that comes from my mouth does not return unto me void, but accomplish that which I please and prosper where I sent it. So that in the case of Messiah, that word given to Messiah, we are able to, what? Enter into Yah's rest. How? Because Messiah did all that is to the commandments that was given him by Yah, by his Father, by our Father. He calling us brethren. That's very, very important. So that we understand that the works of Yah, or the works that Messiah did, is the same works that is of Yah. And it is by way of Yah's word and Yah's will. And this is how Yah is in Messiah. And Messiah is in Yah. Or as he said, I am in my Father. He is in me. By way of Yah's word and Yah's will in Messiah. So that this is how Yah dwell in his Son. See? So that we know that Yah did not come down and get in the body. It's too powerful. Too powerful. And this powerful doesn't even describe Yah. I mean, those people who were at Mount Horeb, they eyewitnessed to themselves. They knew that fear so much so that they couldn't be up there in the presence of Yah as Moses was. They left the mountain. They couldn't take it. And you're saying that all of that power, which is Yah, is that spirit, okay, is in a body? No. If you say that's true, brothers and sisters, that Yah came and got in the body and Messiah doesn't exist because Jesus or Messiah is Yah, no. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. In fact, you got to know the truth and speak the truth and repent from that which is being spoken. For those brothers and sisters up in Philadelphia, especially that preacher who would have these people to believe, you know, that there is no son of Yah, that Yah is the son of Yah. No. It is by way of Yah's word that Messiah exists. That's why he's called Word of Yah, manifested in the flesh. Why? Because he's manifested through Mary. Because Mary, I mean not Mary, yeah, through Mary. Because Adam and Eve, of course, when they were tempted, their flesh became known. As we heard in the other lessons. Their flesh became made known. Which, of course, caused what? Caused them to know their nakedness. Their nakedness became manifested to the point where they were manifested, where they could see their flesh. Thus they ran away from each other. And of course coverings had to be made for them. Okay, Yah made coverings for them. See, this word is true. If you listen with and hear with your heart, hear with your ears and with your heart, and believe and know the truth, the word of Yah will be revealed to you. It will. It will be revealed. But that's why Yah and Messiah say, harden not your heart. Harden not your heart. See, why was divorce given? Because of the hardness of man's heart. What does the hardness of man's heart mean? I mean, your mind is purged with wickedness. I mean, it's full of wickedness. It has to be purged so that you can remove the wickedness and thereby receive the spiritual word that is of the word of faith. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay. All right, Hebrews chapter 13 at verse 20. Now the Yah of peace that brought Now the Yah of peace that brought him again from the dead, our Messiah, okay, that shepherd of the sheep. See, they said that Messiah wasn't resurrected. Here it is right here, speaking very plainly that he was. See, speaking very plainly that he was. Now the Yah of peace that brought again, him from the dead. I'm have to add the word there because it's not there. Our Messiah. Okay. Now the Yah of peace that brought our Messiah again from the dead. Okay. Sometimes you have to unravel some of the scriptures. All right. Now the Yah of peace that brought again Messiah from the dead. Okay. Yah did it. So if Yah brought him from the dead, how can Yah be in Messiah? Yah brought him from the dead. See that's that teaching is really, really wrong, brothers and sisters. It kind of get to me because you know, when you know something is wrong, and you know, from a perspective of the word of Yah. Okay, we're not talking about a kid went out and did something wrong or whatever. We're talking about man condemning people because he's speaking the wrong word. You know, those who believe in that. And those who teach others that so that they believe that. Because you got people, no matter what you say, they literally believe that The flesh stopped at the tree, and the Messiah was no more when he went to the tree. That was it. When he died, that's it. You know, so I can say it right. And that he's just that flesh, because the spirit, which is Yah, is who he is. But everywhere through the Bible, it speaks to the Son of Yah. You know, they want you to believe that there is no Son of Yah, when in point of fact, it is. It is. All through the Bible is all that they spoke about, the Son of Yah. And then they'll say, well, we believe in the Son of Yah. The Son of Yah is Yah himself, the Creator. No, he's not. Isaiah 55 and verse 11, he speaks to how he sent his word. Oh, and it comes to pass, just like Deuteronomy 18 and 15. The word that Yah speak comes to pass. Wow, what I mean by that? The prophets that Yah sent, all of them, the word that they speak come to pass. But those who speak presumptuously, meaning they speak of their own mindset, that which they can conjure up in their head, fables, and all of the foolishness, those words do not believe. These people are not apostles or prophets or whatever they want to call themselves if they're not speaking the true word of Yah. No, they put people into positions where they have no true understanding. And by way of ignorance, because they believe in what the person said and is more caught up into the man instead of the word of Yah, this is where they lose. This is where they find themselves not knowing the truth. Study, learn. I tell people, period, study, learn. Don't just take my word for it. Listen to the videos, read along. We're not just reading a little bit. We're going through whole chapters here. And sometimes we do go through the Bible, but all of it, if you read it, it all comes together. It all comes together. In the beginning, that video that I did, it all comes together. As the word of Isaiah said, you take precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. But as long as you're speaking the truth, you can go from chapter to chapter, right through the book. The book of Galatians, right through the book. The book of Hebrews, right through the book. I'm going to do the book of Ephesians next, right through the book. So that we get an understanding of the word. And we get an understanding of the truth. So that we don't have to get caught up into that which is of the world. All you have to do is listen to the message. If it's not of the Spirit and of the word of Yah, and it's by way of flesh that these people are speaking, who cause themselves and exhort themselves over others and make themselves be above others, this is your brethren. They're supposed to be your brethren. They're supposed to be your brethren. They're supposed to tell you the truth. Not some conversation or some fable, as Peter said. He told them, he told the brethren, matter of fact, he put them in remembrance. We don't speak fables or deceptive words. Okay, verse 20. Now the Yah of peace that brought again from the dead Messiah, that great shepherd of the sheep, that through the blood of the everlasting covenant. That everlasting covenant, that covenant, of course, is the covenant of righteousness and peace. Okay? Okay, because Melchizedek, when he came to Abraham, they said king of peace. You know, king of righteousness, king of peace. But he's of the kingdom of peace and the kingdom of righteousness. Why? Because Melchizedek come down with Yah. He come from the kingdom of righteousness and the kingdom of peace. That's where he come from when he came to Abraham. So that it is an everlasting covenant that was established with Abraham. All right? Okay. Now the Yah of peace that brought again from the dead our Messiah, that great shepherd of the sheep, that through the blood of the everlasting covenant, verse 21, Hebrews 13 and 21, make you perfect in every good work to do his will. Okay? Working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight. This is what Yah did for us. Brought us to where we can go and be able to worship Yah, give praise to Yah, and not have sin on us, not have a sinful body, okay? Because we're going to be given a spiritual body. Not having that mind in sin, or full of sin, but that mind is being purged of sin, having no remembrance of that which is of that sin, okay? Make 21, make you perfect in every good work to do his will. See, to do Yah's will. Okay, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight. See, Yah putting in us that which is pleasing in his sight, the same way he did Messiah. Yah did that which is Messiah did that which is well pleasing, of course, to Yah, in Yah's sight, the Creator. Okay, through Messiah. All of this is done, of course, through Messiah. Okay, to whom be glory forever and ever. Yah's word and Yah's will be so. That glory forever and ever, of course, is to Yah. And I beseech you, brethren, suffer the word of exhortation. All right, for I have written a letter unto you in few words. Okay, and I seriously believe that Paul wrote the book of Hebrews. This is just my belief, because Paul was given, of course, and made the apostle of the New Testament. He was taken by Messiah and, of course, given and made the apostle of the New Testament. So there you have it. Verse 23. Know ye that our brother Timothy is set at liberty, okay, with whom, if he comes shortly, see, I will see you. Now, that even further brings out that, because Timothy was with who? Paul. Timothy was like a son to Paul. Okay? Salute all them that have rule over you, and all the saints. Okay? They of Italy salute you. All right? Grace be with you all right? Yah's word and Yah's will be so. And that's the end of the book of Hebrews, brothers and sisters. But to make a little bit of a comment on the last word of this word on the book of Hebrews, this whole book brings about what I've spoken to you before, and that is to Messiah being, of course, the Son of Yah, okay, high priest after the order of Melchizedek, and sin sacrifice for mankind. This is who he is. This is what this book is all about, dealing with the Levitical priesthood and the bringing in of Messiah, and the understanding of the word of faith, and him being the tabernacle for us, so that we know in our hearts that there is a spiritual body waiting for us. It is. That tabernacle that Yah gave, Messiah became that spiritual body. That same spiritual body is for us, those who believe by way of faith. That tabernacle. Okay, we're going to receive a new tabernacle. All right. Okay. So I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining me today with the learning of course, the book of Hebrews. And we're going to go to the book of Ephesians next. And of course, my name is Brother William L. Dixon, and this is the Israel of Faith. And as we always do, we will say Yah's Prayer, or as most of you know, the Lord's Prayer. Looking up into paradise, our Father, which art in paradise, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in paradise. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Thank you, Yahweh of Abraham, Yahweh of Isaac, Yahweh of Israel. I pray this prayer by way of Messiah. Thank you, Yahweh, for blessing and being with me in all, for the revelation of your word and your will in me. Your word and your will be so. Again, brothers and sisters, my name is Brother William L. Dixon, and this, of course, is the Israel of Faith. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Please check out the rest of the videos that we have. You can go to Israel of Faith, Israel, Israel of Faith. Okay, that's the channel, so that you can have better access. Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to take this time for thanking you for listening in, and when we come back, we will be in the book of Ephesians. Thank you, and have a good day.